Okay, so we've just finished putting Barry through his paces in 4 simple drills, just a nice little warm-up. So Barry, how would that compare to, with the bands on, doing those simple drills without the bands? What sort of differences are you feeling?
With the bands, you definitely feel restriction, but it's mainly to hold everything in your body together and hold all of your joints and your muscles, and make sure that they're all aligned and make sure that they're strengthening them at the same time. So whenever you take them off, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like, you feel like you can run, jump, everything. I think, like, on my first layup, after the bands, I almost missed it because I had got up a little bit higher than I expected, and that's definitely a good sign. So I definitely know, like, if you continue to consistently work with them, the sky will probably be the limit.
All right, that's good. So you answered my second question for me anyway. It's all good. So these bands, we use 2 today in a certain style of wrapping that are generally aimed at helping strengthening the core. So obviously, as a basketball player and as a high level basketball player like Barry is, your core strength is vital. So finding ways where we can combine our strength and conditioning training with our basketball training, even in such simple drills that we just did, is massive for being able to up the level of players as we go through. So Barry, would you recommend using these bands and this style of training to other players, not just at a high level, but at a grassroots youth kind of level?
Definitely, because that will enhance their athleticism times 10 by the time that they're really going to be able to reach their potential. So that'll just increase everything. I feel like if you increase your athleticism, then everything else will follow. Like, obviously you have to work on your skills, that's period. But if you add that to your workout, your game will only evolve even more. So I definitely would recommend it for younger kids starting out, because it will only continue to build their muscles up past the capacity that they probably would have had otherwise.
Yeah, so. Cool. No, that's good. So obviously when you were younger growing up, let's say as a young teenager, what sort of age did you start getting in the weight room?
Man, in the weight room, okay, honestly, it would have to be middle school. And that's because, honestly, I'm from Texas. So Texas is a big football state.
Okay,
so, like, in middle school, everybody's big juggernauts on the weights. So everybody's trying to be big, trying to be the biggest, fastest, strongest. And a lot of people tend to think that, going to the weight room will increase that. And so I kind of started getting in the weight room probably about middle of 7th, going into 8th grade.
So what's that in age for the rest of the university isn't in those grades?
Probably like 13.
13, 14?
13, 14.
Okay.
Yes.
So the general conception is weight training at a young age used to be thought about that if you get in the gym lifting weights too early, it would stunt your growth. Now, that's not necessarily true, but what we've come to realize as time goes on with more research is that it's not so much it stunts your growth, it's that you need to be ready before you step foot in the weight room. So before you're chucking weight on your shoulders, doing squats and deadlifts and bicep curls, you need to be able to do basic body weight exercises. So one of the interesting things we did when we first got to France is we did a squat test. Now we were on this course, we had 11 of us on this course?
Yeah.
So there were 11 of us, and we all went through this squat analysis. And I'm the only one that didn't play ball in America. I'm the only one that didn't play at a high level, and I'm probably the only one that's not looking for a pro contract. But the funny thing is, I'm the one with the best squat in terms of technique, because I didn't get in a weight room doing things early. I was doing body weight exercise, which is interesting and will be interesting as we move forward, as I bring this style of training back to Australia as the first and only trainer right now in Australia qualified to do so. And what sort of, if you think back and if you had done this sort of stuff with some of the other bodyweight exercises we've been doing with the kids over the last 5 weeks, how do you think that would have, made any difference to your athletic performance once you got to, say, college?
Oh man, that's a scary thing to think about, because I was already naturally quick, and I wasn't even in the best shape that I possibly could have been in. I was in good shape, like I can run for days, but there's always another level. Like you think about NBA players like Russell Westbrook, guys who are ball dominant and have to score the ball and manipulate a lot of things that go on in the game. That's a different type of stamina. So when I say that in that concept, but like honestly, your stamina would have been higher, you would never have to come out the game. Your athleticism would have been out the roof, so you would have been able to finish above the rim.
Yep.
Your moves would have been more crisp. You would have been without injury, in my opinion, because your body would have been so strong and have been able to withstand like a lot of the bigger defenders, that when you go into the lane and get bumped, you can take those hits and still be stabilized and still be able to finish and not really waver off here or there. Even with your landing, you'll be stable as well. And I feel like it'll just be healthier for you. You'll just be in a much better position to have a longer lasting career with the bands.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's the same sort of thing I'm seeing with the players. Like, we've been using these bands during a 1-week camp with a group of kids, and in 1 week we're seeing improvement, right, in these kids' ability to do basic movements. So things like lunges, squats, just their jumping, and then that then transfers over to their ball handling skills, the speed and strength of their crossover, and their explosiveness of their first step. All vital things for basketball players, especially in this day and age where everybody has to be able to handle the ball, right? So I'm trying to get my head around how crazy it's going to be if someone, let's say, someone who is thinking in a few years' time about going to college, rather than hitting the weight room or combining with hitting the weight room, using these bands for their like speed, agility, and quickness training, the effects and the amount of improvement we'd see in like a year's space of time could be absolutely crazy.
Oh, it would be insane. And crazy. It's crazy that you said that, because I'm thinking about a prime example is literally my little brother. He's 17 and he's an up and coming player in the class of 2019.
He's a really nice player. Let's not be around him. He's a good player.
He's on the verge, like he's just coming off a state championship, and right now he's really skyrocketing his stock right now with the amount of Division I attention that he's been getting lately.
Yeah.
But he's always been that sleeper, and I think it's been primarily because he's not the one. He's sneaky athletic, he's sneaky quick, but he's not the one where you're moving out of the way if he's coming down the lane.
Yeah,
He's
not the big highlight dunks. And
right.
That
He's just the savvy, very savvy one, very crafty. But if he, like, when I know when I get home, I'm going to introduce this to him.
Yeah.
And we have time, because he has 1 more year of high school, and then he'll be able to go to college. So then I can only imagine like the amount of time through this summer.
Yeah.
If he continues to work on these types of things, and there's no telling like what other doors could possibly open up with just this training alone. So I know that that's definitely something that if players who have 2 or 3 years, or even obviously way before that, but if they figure it out now before they get to college, it will make a world of a difference.
Yeah, in fact, and we're going to stay in contact, because I'm interested in that journey.
For sure.
We're going to stay in
most
contact
definitely.
anyway, in case you're coming down under, in case we go over to Texas or whatnot.
Yes,
so
yes.
these journeys that have begun already but are restarting are really, really intriguing in terms of entering a new kind of age where we're able to develop players at a younger age into more athletic players, and players throughout the rest of the world can catch up with the crazy highlight reel plays that you see on channels like Ballers Life and that coming out of the States. Guys like Zion Williams and Mac McClain and all these guys coming out with these huge monster plays. There's no reason that stuff can't be brought into the rest of the world. And the thing you don't see is this sort of training has been in America for the last 10, 15 years, but it's quiet. It's not a big scene. Kobe Bryant has trained out with this, with the guy that's been coaching us. Kobe's been using these bands towards the end of his career to help. Like all those times he turns an ankle badly in a game and he's on the court 2 nights later. Like, no normal person should be able to do that. Granted, Kobe is special, but it's because of stuff like this, because he is dynamically strong. His joints are able to withstand this because everything works properly within his body. It's mad to think what's going to happen once we get more players working out this way, getting stronger and building up that resistance. It's going to be impressive.
Yes, most definitely, man. It's going to be exciting, for sure.
For sure.
I can't wait to see it.
All right, guys, we are out of here. We're basically getting kicked out of the gym. It's always a good way at the gym at the end of the day. So I will catch you all later. Stay tuned for some big news coming to all the guys in Perth. I'm bringing this stuff back, and we are going to get to work, getting you guys nice and strong and ready to play and start dominating the wobble leagues in Perth. Until then, guys, coach out.